Hi everyone, Leah Vanderlinden here, the founder of this amazing group, You're in the Soulful Goddess. And I am so happy to have you in my training tonight and my class centered around really the introduction of crystals. So we are going to dive in. We're going to go for probably about 45 minutes or so, as I could honestly talk all day and every day about crystals. But I like to be mindful of everyone's time. So this is one of my number one questions that people ask me. They are constantly asking me about these beautiful things right here. They want to know, hi Kim, hi Lotus. They want to know more about them. They understand that they are aesthetically stunning. They understand that they have some kind of healing property to them, but they don't really get what they do, or they get what they do, but how do they get started? Hi, Michelle. Hi, Karen. So tonight we're going to dive into the basics of using crystals, where to get started, how to pick them out. If we have time, I'll talk about how to cleanse them. We're going to talk about, hi, Ellie, how to set the intentions in using the crystal. And all kinds of stuff. And people also ask me the basic. They want to know, what are the main crystals I should start with? So I'm going to dive into all of that juicy, juicy topic tonight. So as we're getting started, I love seeing all these comments when you come in telling me that you're here. It lets me know that the content is something that is very popular in the group. It lets me know that you are watching and that as I'm taking the time out of my schedule to do this, you're taking the time out to be here. So it makes me want to come back. Hi, Katie. So thank you for taking the time to do that. With that being said, we're going to start diving in. So I'm going to try to make this a little interactive in the beginning. So if you're on the replay, or even if you are catching me live and in person, they're both still as equally important. So if you can put in the comments below, have you ever used crystals? So yes, I have. No, I haven't. Also put in there, if you own any crystals, what kind of crystals do you have? So I love trying to see where everyone's at, to see, what does everybody know? It lets me know in the future for other ones to do too. Ellie said, I'm so excited. This is my jam, sister. Well, good. Hi, Jennifer. So anyways, so we're just writing in the comments if you've ever used crystals, right? Yes, I have. If you've never used them, just write, no, I haven't. There's no right or wrong answer. And if you own any crystals, put in the comments what crystals you own. I love seeing where everybody's at. So anyways, so let's go ahead and get started. Hi, Miss Larkin. Lotus says I own a lot. Me too. Me too. You're going to start like, as I go on and start showing, you're going to go, okay, Leah may have an addiction to crystals and an addiction to candles. And I make, and coffee mugs, and I make no apologies for any. Clearly, I like things that start with the letter C. I even like cookies and cuddles. Katie said, no, I don't have any and I don't own any. Perfect. And Miss Larkin said, yes, I have used crystals and I own way too many. Michelle said, I own a lot. Ellie said, yes, I love crystals, amethyst, citrine, rose quartz, crystal quartz, obsidian, tourmaline, jasper, and the list goes on and on and on. Hi, Jackie. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. So let's start with the basics. So most of you guys know that I do energy work. And in my sessions to heal energy, I move the energy around. There are all kinds of things that I do to assist that energy in moving. Sometimes that energy with a client, especially my clients that have experienced trauma, we want to make sure that we remove and pull that trauma out. So anytime that you're doing any kind of self-care work and you're on your self-care journey, you're going to be shifting energy around as you shift your thoughts around and you shift your belief system around. The energy in your body, okay, needs to be shifted just as much as the energy in your mind. So this is why it is so important that as you are doing energy work, or excuse me, healing work, that you're doing something to move that energy out that was around the time that it originally started anyway, right? So with that being said, sorry, I got distracted for a moment. I was thinking something and something else jumped in. So with that being said, sometimes crystals might not be the way that you want to use, or the thing you want to use, and that's okay. It might not be your jam. It could be that you want to exercise and move that energy around, and by the time you sweat and you breathe and you grunt as you work out, those things work out of you too. It could be that you want to meditate or you want to write down. There is no wrong way to heal. You just got to figure out what tools work great for you. And this is one I love to use on my clients. You don't have to have a client right in front of you to use this either. You can do this long distance healing. I have done that for many of my clients where they're going through something and they have no idea, but I'm over here making a grid of their body and their chakras, and I am making sure that I am putting crystals all over their grid that I'm making that represent them and the things they're trying to heal from. So just know that these are a great thing to have in your toolkit if you're using them properly. They will beyond help you as long as you will help yourself first. They're not something you're going to put here and you're going to say, take away all my thoughts, Crystal. I don't want to do shit. I just want you to do it. I'm just going to sit it here and you remove all that stuff. I love y'all, but there's not a damn thing out there that works like that. And if there is, there's a catch. So don't think that you're going to buy this and it's going to hold all the answers to heal everything by just and putting it in your titty, because it's not going to work. You've got to do the work too. Let me go back here. Jennifer said, oh, Holly, thank you. Holly said, you're glowing this evening. I actually was a little self-conscious because I didn't have time to put any face makeup on, but I have been using fresh aloe vera from my plant. And my friend Barbie made me a sunflower salve, and I've just been putting that on my face with vitamin E, and I'm trying to let it sit. So I think it looks like I'm glowing, but I'm just greasy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jennifer said, I have a few crystals. I don't use them regularly. I think they are beautiful. I love rose quartz. Me too. Moonstone, amethyst, and lots of red crystals. I'm not sure what they are. Well, I love that you use them and you have them. And even if you don't use them regularly, it's totally fine. I think the more you learn about them, you'll start using them more. Kim said, I'm going to have to catch a replay. I've had a bad headache from Mercury retrograde. Not a problem, Kim. Get your self-care in and take an Epsom salt bath, do releasing, and yes, take care of you, boo. Thank you, Lotus. Lotus said, those are beautiful. Okay. So, I could spend all day talking about energy and energy work, but I'm going to spare you that. If you want to know more about that, that is something I'm going to come back in and talk about soon. And I'm releasing a course around too. So I'll explain all that at another time. But long story short, we're going to get into learning now a little bit more about crystals, right? And explain how they're made and how they work, because that's why we're really here, isn't it? So as exciting as I am, I know that we're not all here to just listen to me talk. So just as we are made up of water, we are also made up of energy. And energy is not just centered around all of the blood and the water in our veins. It's centered around the emotions that go in our body. It's centered around the things that have happened to us and how we respond. It's centered around all kinds of things. And so is our body. Our body is centered around moving in motion as well, just like water does and energy does. And so to make this a little bit easier to explain, when you think of your body, can everybody see that beautiful artwork behind me? Okay, see, one of my dear friends made that for me. So see all that energy around those three bodies, which happen to be me, my son's father, and my son. See all that energy in that picture, right? And and how it goes all throughout the body, that's what happens in our body as well. We have way more than just 7 basic chakra centers, but to keep it easy for today, we're going to go over those 7 because this links into the crystals as well. So we have 7 different chakra centers, way more than that, but we're going to go with these 7 for now, okay? And any time that we went through anything in our life that from that point forward, we never saw it the same, there was energy formed around that. Even the great stuff, there's energy formed around it. And from that point forward, it typically sits in one of your centers. And that's how you process things from that point forward. Sometimes it may be in your head, right? So sometimes it may be in the head where you went through all kinds of limiting beliefs. So now every time you go to respond to something, all those limiting beliefs go ahead and they answer for you, right? Because everything's shifting in that energy center is still a limiting belief at that time. Or you may have had an employer where you were never able to speak your truth. You were never able to have an opinion, or you had a lover who every time you talked, they cut you down. Or you had a parent, every time that you talked, right? The parent said, well, children are supposed to be seen and not heard, so simmer down. So you did. So you had all these things happen that kept your voice from ever being able to come out. So you may have now as an adult problems in your throat, or a lump in your throat when you go to speak and you don't know where that comes from, or fear of speaking out and you don't really know where that comes from. Or you may even have where you have adenoid problems, or lung problems and breathing problems. And that could be because that energy center in your throat, it has all kinds of stuff trapped in it. And until you move the energy around in that throat, those beliefs are going to be what spews out of you. We even have chakras in our ears. And if you heard nothing but negative words as a child or even as an adult for many years, everything goes through that filtering system until you filter it out. Okay? And let's keep going with our heart. If now you're a parent and you're trying like crazy to love and accept this child, but sometimes you just don't know how, because love taught you that it's anything but compassion and it's anything but forgiveness. And now you're an adult struggling desperately to get along with your child and you don't know where it's coming from. Work on the heart and removing the energy that's in that heart, because without even knowing it, it could just be that toxic energy is spewing around in your heart and it's acting as a shield that's protecting anything that's the opposite of that from getting in. So when you're doing meditations and guided meditations to remove that stuff out of your heart chakra, we're going to talk about some crystals you can grab and use as a tool to just assist in getting that to just keep going out even further. Does that make sense? So going down to your girl parts and your lady bits. If you went through sexual trauma, or you went through when you was a teenager, you might have slept around before you really wanted to, or you got in a relationship as an adult, or you tried to as an adult and you found yourself with several lovers that may not have deserved you. And now you're trying desperately to move on, and you've healed and you've grown, but you're still really struggling at relationships and intimacy, and you're wondering where that's coming from. Well, honey, everything you create and give life to, we think it all starts in here, but I'm gonna beg to differ. It starts in our lady bits, and it starts in our root chakra. And so much goes to that. So much creativity and what we give life to is down there, okay? And if everything down there is still operating in a place of hurt and pain and distrust and turmoil, everything you create, even as beautiful as it is, it can go so far. But a part of that chunk is still going to be in there too until you heal it. So this is why we're even going to talk a little bit about, well, this is one of my favorite stones, but obsidian, and how to use crystals even in your body. Because I want you to understand that crystals aren't something that's coming around and taking all this work away from you. to where you're not doing it, but they are also taking the work that you're doing and they're helping assist it for you to just jump leaps and bounds in a way that it wouldn't necessarily be able to do as quickly without having a little assistance, right? Does that make sense? Hi, twin. Oh, were you guys struggling finding it earlier? Well, I'm so glad you found it. And, excuse me, Miss Anna said, yes, I can see the energy in that picture behind you. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle. I love it too. Okay, so does that all make sense? Are we all on the same page of why when we're using energy work, we would want to use something that's full of energy, healthy energy, and assisting in doing energy work too? So this is why when I do any kind of Reiki on a client, I'm constantly using crystals too. Even once they leave. Michelle said, I wish I would have got a crystal grid. Well, I'm going to be honest, I don't have one. What I do is I visualize the client laying down, and then I tap into the energy of where I feel that there is emotions being stored in their body, and I just visualize them being on my bed or my floor, or whatever it is I'm working on that day. And then I just sit the crystals down and really just try to tune into them, and it works. So you don't necessarily have to have a crystal grid. And another cool thing is I have seen on Google that they have kind of like that picture, they have silhouettes where you can just have a silhouette and put that silhouette down and channel yourself or whatever else, right? And put that down, put those crystals down on your little thing you downloaded for free. So just start where you can, girl. Just start where you can. Oh, you're so welcome. I'm glad this is helping, Amanda. Thank you so much. Okay, so our thoughts and emotions are also connected to our physical body, just like you saw in that picture. Not just our emotional, right, and our spiritual, but our physical body too. And when these patterns in our body, these patterns of energy are all working together as a team, then everything works in harmony in our life, and it feels pretty much effortless. You know that there's times that they're going to be where stuff hits the fan and it may be tough at that time, but you've got a pretty well sense of where somebody could push you and you're not really shakeable, right? That's when everything in alignment is working. However, if your energy centers are out of whack and there's still toxic energy or emotions that haven't been dealt with, they are dealing with you. And I want to show you how they might be. You may find yourself constantly having fatigue. You may find yourself very irritable or taking things insanely personal and not knowing why, or feeling like you're going to snap, or you're constantly tired, or you're having massive headaches all the time, or tons of tension in the body. Well, what that is your body's way of telling you that there is things going on within you that is creating almost a toxicity, and it's causing a physical indicator to go off in the body that's letting you know that something's out of whack. So when you start to acknowledge, oh my gosh, something's out of whack, but how do I deal with that? Really listen to your body of the message it's telling you. And then you'll be able to, it will help you even further be able to know, well, what the heck crystal am I going to reach for? Well, there's crystals that are going to help with headaches. Or if you know that a lot of things, a lot of pain is coming in your chest, chances are your energy center in your heart is out of whack. So there's all kinds of beautiful ways to get them to go back in alignment. And you can do this without a professional. I don't want you guys to think that everything that we teach you is stuff that you have to hire us for. We're trying to teach you things to know that you can do these things on your own too, and they will help you. Brenda said, oh my God, I just tuned in and you are describing me. Girl, I'm describing you, honey, because I was describing myself. And still sometimes when I find myself being really irritable, I know that there is something in me that I haven't dealt with and it's dealing with me. So I know I'm going to either meditate that night, I'm going to take a shower and I'm going to wash it out, right? Or I'm going to grab some crystals and I'm going to set intentions. I'm going to journal, whatever it is I'm going to do. I'm going to deal with it so it's not ruling my life. I'm going to show it who rules in this house, right? Anna Marie said, I can totally relate to this. Okay. So, this is why everything is so important to make sure that you're doing spiritual work that's all working as a sandwich. I tell you guys all the time, it's never a one-stop shop. Make sure you're putting everything in there to work together so it works for you. So anyways, this is a great thing to have in your toolkit and have in your back pocket. Everything about the crystal, honestly, is simply amazing. Everything about it, down to the energy, down to the way that it was formed and created, because no two crystals, none, are ever going to be the same, because how and what it took to get the crystal here is incredible. The things that the crystal had to go through so that we can even look at it are incredible. It had to do with its environment. It had to do with the elements, where it was, right? That's why none of them look the same. And their energy, even if it's the same crystal, is going to feel different each time that you go to find a crystal. So let's start with that. How do I find a crystal that is the crystal for me? I know that they're awesome, Leah. I'm hearing everything that you're saying. How do I find one that's for me? Well, my best advice on telling you how to find one that's for you is to literally find one through you. Oftentimes we think everyone knows more than we do, but then we discredit how much we really actually know. Your body is going to tell you 100% what crystal you need. I love telling people this. When you go to a crystal store, if you have access to have a crystal store that's local, one of the things that I recommend that you do, hi Debbie, hi Ellie, hi Kelly, is go into that crystal store and walk up to all the crystals. So it's going to be intimidating at first. When you first go into the crystal store, they're going to have all kinds of probably little containers like this, right? And they're going to be full of crystals, and you're going to go, oh shit. Where's my crystal guru? You're the guru. And so you're going to walk up and you're going to see all these kinds of crystals. And you're going to see some that are polished, where they're super pretty and they look so perfect. And then you're going to see some that are points, and you're going to go, oh my God, Jesus, help me. And then you're going to see clusters, right? And you might see wands. And you're going to see all kinds of different crystals. But here's the most beautiful thing that's going to happen when you walk into the crystal store. Your body, without even realizing it, is going to walk up. It's going to guide you. It's going to be like, girl, walk. You're going to walk up to the crystals, and one of them is going to speak through you. And you're not going to know why, but you're going to want to pick it up. And you're going to go like almost like it's a man with chicken wings. And for my vegans, a man with cauliflower wings, okay? So it's going to be like Lenny Kravitz is in the store, and he's looking at you, right, with free Starbucks. But instead, it's a crystal, and you're going to have an instant connection. And it is going to be that it's pretty, but it's going to be deeper than it's pretty, right? And there's going to be something that happens that goes off, like, hi. So what happens is your body is picking up on the energetic waves that's coming out the crystal. The crystal is connected to, like we said earlier, to the sun, to the elements, to the underworld, because sometimes it has to grow in the underworld. Some crystals literally grow in lava and are created in lava. So we've got all this energy from underneath the world we stand on, all this energy from above, right? From the sun, from the light, from the rain. We have all of that being poured into to this magical crystal. And when we touch it, it is telling us immediately what our body is lacking, okay? I mean, it's just crazy how you know. So if you pick up one, chances are there's going to be a little piece of paper like an index card that's going to be next to the crystal that's going to tell you what this crystal does, what it's used for. It may even tell you where it's from. If not, Every crystal store is going to at least tell you the name, and Google is great, and so is Pinterest, at telling you what it means. I don't want you to get so caught up in, though, if you pick up a crystal and you feel like it only is going to do this type of healing, understand that a crystal is programmable. It literally is alive, legit. So you are going to talk to it, and you are going to literally train it on how to work with you, as you should all your spiritual work. Everything in spiritual work starts first with an intention. So when you go to the crystal store and you find one that's speaking to you, understand and know that crystal needs you as much as you need it. Just pick it up, just buy it, and know whatever it is that you're going through, it's going to help you through it, because your intuition is telling you this is the way to go. So just trust it, okay? Don't worry so much about the other stuff. Now, there's a difference in crystals. You've got, like I said, we've got the clusters, right? You can feel the energy pop off this crystal onto my phone. I mean, this is beautiful, gorgeous, intense energy. Feel it? Okay. Now, the reason why you're going to feel so much energy like this off of this is because it's a cluster. So you've got tons of pink quartz crystals coming through the screen to you, and it's raw. It came straight off of a huge cluster. So you're feeling a ton of energy from it, right? Because it's also raw. 1,000 other hands did not touch this before it touched mine. But if I grab a polished stone, which are very, very affordable, and they're still beautiful and they still work, but see how perfect this is? It's been smoothed. It's went through a machine. It's probably had at least 6 people touch it. Then it was shipped, and then other people had to touch it to ship it. Then it came out of the packaging, and now it's sitting in a little jar at a crystal store. And even more people touched it. And now everyone in the crystal store that's drawn to it has touched it. So it's different energy. It's still very strong, but the polished energy is completely different than this type of energy. So just understand that when you're going into it, you don't want to have you have to understand and give it grace too, that this is going to be a lot more potent in a healing than a small one like this. But start where you can. So if all you can afford at this time is a few polished stones, you know what? It's better than not having any. Start where you can. Grab a few of these and know that if you put a few of them on your body, or you're deciding that, let's say that you've been having a really rough time sleeping and you want to use a crystal to sleep so that negative thoughts aren't coming to you when you're trying to go to bed, then you would want to put those crystals around your pillow or under your pillow in a little satchel. Some people like literally putting them around the bed. I also like having crystals in my home because they literally help amplify the energy in my home and whatever it is I'm wanting in that room. So I know if my son and I are having a really rocky time, we're not seeing eye to eye, I'm feeling like he's not hearing me or understanding me, I'm going to want to put stones in that room that are bigger stones that can help amplify the energy on a larger scale, that are going to help me with love and compassion and forgiveness. So that's why having big stones in your house is a great thing too, because it can help heal not only the person sitting in the room, but the energy of the room, right? So another important thing to learn, that while you're purchasing crystals, is you want to make sure that you are careful where you purchase them from. As we talked about, when you go into a crystal place, right? When you go into a crystal place, there's a lot of energy of people that go into that store that are probably going to be on your crystal. Make sure that you are going into a store that you feel great about, that you're buying from an individual that you trust. And if you can, try to have it be a place where you can physically touch it and see how you feel with the stone too, okay? Then what I suggest that you do anytime you get a stone is that you sage that stone, set the intention of the stone. Like I said, the stone's alive, the crystal's alive. So you're going to set the intention of it, really talk to it, charge it if you want to. Okay, I apologize. charge it if you want to. So you can charge it by setting it in a windowsill of the night. Like tonight is the full moon. So you could set it in there and charge the energy of the moon. Make sure you're researching before you do that what moon is going that day and if that's what you're really wanting to do. Each moon, as we've talked about, my lovely coach Jen has talked about, has different things that it does, right? Some are a releasing moon where you're going to want to use certain crystals to help you release things. Some are an energetic moon that is going to help amplify you to get you into that rocket of success. Some are for, they're just all different types of moons. So you're going to want to make sure that when you're charging it, that if there's something specific that you're working on, that you charge it with that specific type of moon. Does that make sense? So you can put it in the windowsill. Another thing that I love to do is I like to cleanse mine in sea salt. Make sure you Google whatever crystal you have to see how you can cleanse it. Not all crystals can be cleansed the same way. I also love to, my favorite way, honestly, is to put them in soil of a old pot, like an old flower that I've had, and put them in soil and set them out of the night of a certain moon and let them really charge into that energy. I do get asked, can I charge them by the sun? You can. There are some you need to be careful that you don't want to get too much direct sunlight, but they are fine for at least a limited time. I mean, most of them are made in the sun. But with that being said, understand that the sun and the moon are two total different energies. So once again, you're going to want to make sure that it's the energy that you're trying to really manifest when you're using that crystal. And if you are going through a lot of stuff, especially in the beginning when you're using crystals to heal, I recommend that you cleanse them and charge them as often as you can when you're first starting to work with them, because you are pouring a lot out of you into that crystal. And in order to get amplified healing in the way that you want it to, I want you to be able to have the full benefits of using one that's really charged and cleansed. Does that make sense? Okay, I know I'm going fast because I can talk about this all day. Brenda said, I might need closure. Maybe sleep in a bra. Yeah, and so you can totally wear closer. Yeah, you can totally wear them. And if you wear them, you can buy stone, you can buy jewelry that they're on. The only thing with that, also remember, is that the ones that are very, very polished, you are going to get results from them, but you still might want to purchase that same stone in a raw form to use as well. But you can most certainly wear crystals. There's crystal jewelry that you can use. Make sure you are also cleansing that jewelry as often as possible and charging it as often as possible too. You can definitely wear them in your bra. You can also, what's another one I was going to say? Hold them while you meditate. And there's all kinds of beautiful ways to use them. I like putting them on my body when I meditate, and definitely having them in my space. Yes, Ellie said, I love wrapping and wearing raw crystals. Me too. Crystal wraps are so cheap. I think they're like $3 at some places. It's just a necklace with a little wire around it. They're very easy to make too. And you just plop your crystal in there and can use it that way. Anna Marie said, I'm totally looking for larger crystals to use in my home. Yes, yes, yes. And she said, you need a balance of smooth and polished versus raw. I love the polished stones and even a few raw pendants. And it's whichever is your preference. I personally love the raw stones. I think that the energy is completely different, but I like to use them in my clients too. And I think that they do a great job of keeping up with the amount of times I'm using them. And I also like a raw one because if it chips or breaks, then it's like, oh, now I have a few of them. The polished ones hurt like hell when they break. But it's honestly what is ever your preference. Brenda said, my whole family, we are rock hounds and have been for generations. All rocks, crystal stones called us. That's beautiful. Okay, so we're going to keep on Oh, keep on moving here. So yeah, crystals hold a connection and they hold an energy that is deep below to the earth, like we were talking about earlier, and to the sun, and which is the highest vibration, right? Because of that light of that sun. Crystallization occurs when layers of the planet, they mantle fracture. Crystals are formed by and based off of the specific environment that they were created in, down to the exposures of the elements, right? Even their colors and their shapes and their sizes all depend on their environment. That's why, like I said earlier, no two crystals are the same. Crystals are alive and they are able to work with human energy by absorbing, shifting it, and balancing it. They can be used for emotional healing, physical healing, and spiritual healing, and they can even help with physical pain and shift that around. That is why I love using them with clients that are physically hurting in their shoulders and their neck because they can't believe how much tension it takes out. Its vibrations, they interact with our own and they just help exhilarate healing. Working with crystals helps the body find its own natural rhythm again. So I wanted to make sure that I started talking about the benefits of that because I know that's a big one. A lot of us want to know. So let's start talking about what certain crystals are. I'm not going to get into all of them. I really don't feel there's a beginner kit. I think whatever crystal you are drawn to is the crystal for you, but I do want to explain the crystals that are probably the most popular and a little bit about them. So this to me is one of the most beautiful stones. Christy said, I love raw. I have polish, but I feel way more connected to raw. Me too. And polish is great to start with, but when you can, go to the gym show and feel this and you will be like, oh my God, I'm hooked. Sarah said, my daughter has a box full of crystals. They are numbered and named. Does it matter what kind you use? There are about 50 different rocks and crystals. Nope. Let your body tell you what to do. Okay, so amethyst is a stone of spirituality. It's a stone centered around your intuition, inner peace, inner wisdom, inner strength, and feeling emotionally stable. So this is a great one for people who experience depression, hormonal imbalance, who are feeling all kind of out of whack or irritability or lack of compassion. Amethyst is a great one that I would tell you to use while you're doing your healings, to have in your space, to wear it, and make sure that you set the intentions of what you're wanting it to use and release. It is one that is said to really help enhance your spiritual gifts. So if you know that you are psychic or you're clairvoyant, you would want to really use amethyst to help guide you into getting ideas with your practice and what to do and how to use these gifts and how to strengthen them. It helps with headaches. It helps with comprehension. I personally have several learning disabilities, and I know that it is really hard for me to concentrate if I have to read a lot of things and comprehend it. So I love using amethyst when I know I'm going to have a tricky test or something that's going to take a lot of my concentration. I'm going to wear amethyst and I'm going to try to have it around me because I know what it can do to help me concentrate. It's also great if you to use in healing if you experience a lot of fluid retention or swelling. So you can place that when you're doing healing and you're laying down on the areas you tend to swell in. Place amethyst around you. Make sure you set the intention that you want it to remove this swelling, and you will be amazed. It also helps with your third eye, and it helps with headaches. So this is another great one to have. I mean, this is a lot of beautiful things it does. Anne Marie said they do help with physical pain as well as emotional pain. Yes, and we're going to get into all of that. Financial, yes, and creativity. You could probably guess which crystals I use based on this. You are right. Ellie said, I homeschool my kids and I keep amethyst on our school table for my kids to help focus. Yes, it's a great one. It is absolutely an amazing stone. One of the stones that I have been so absolutely obsessed and in love with is the citrine lately. I just cannot get enough of this stone. I think it is one of the most gorgeous stones I have ever seen, and I am obsessed with it. Citrine is full of energy. Think of citrus. Think of an orange and how much energy an orange has because it comes in contact with the sun, right? So citrine is full of that same type of energy. It is self-cleaning, which is super cool. It's self-charging too. And it helps with happiness. It helps with emotions and balancing emotion. It helps with courage. Me too. I love it, Brenda. It helps with hope when you are feeling hopeless or you are feeling like, I just don't have a clue what to do, is get you some citrine, honey. Yes, Anna Marie said, I love citrine. So, yes, it's just a beautiful one. Amber said, I always seem to grab that one. Yeah, me too lately. It's just, I've been all about it. So it's also for courage. So if you're getting ready to start a new career or you're getting ready to exit a relationship or there's something you need courage to talk about, use amethyst, put it on your throat, set the intention, help me speak my truth, help me, help me, help me, right? Amanda, I'm going to get to that one too, and I will definitely help guide you on that one too, sweetheart. Thank you for your patience. But I'm going to dive into that too. And so it can help with self-esteem, being creative, self-expression, abundance. This is a great one if you are trying to manifest money and abundance and love or laughter or whatever it is, health. Use citrine, set the intentions of that with that. It helps with prosperity. It for healing, it helps with infection. So if I know a client has tons of bacteria infection or yeast infections and things like that, I know that I am going to want to use citrine and helping assist them in infection. It helps with heart healing. It helps with physical and emotional releasing and circulation issues as well as detoxifying. So it can help with all kinds of things. If you're going to want to heal your root chakra, I would not recommend putting this inside, but you can definitely place this on the root chakra for sexual trauma. And obsidian is a great one with that too, and I will definitely get into that too. So very, very powerful stone by having citrine. Yeah, it's a great stone. Moving on, we're going to talk about clear quartz, which is the first crystal I ever started with back in the day. Not this one exactly, but clear quartz was the one I was the most drawn to. And it was one probably like this, and they're just such a beautiful stone. So feel free to type in. I know that everybody knows pretty much what to, a lot of people know about clear quartz crystals, so you can type in what you know about it. But it is definitely, if you were only going to get one stone, and this, I mean, one crystal and only one crystal, this would be the one I would say, you know what? If all you can only afford is one, get this. Because it is like the master Mac Daddy crystal. It's the master healer crystal. It removes negative energy. I mean, it is just a strong pooler of negative energy. It connects you to your highest self. It connects you to your spirit guides. It is good for every single chakra. It is good for almost any, I can't think of any healing it can't do. It clears bad energy. Like we said, negative energy. Yes, Amber, exactly. Anna Marie, excuse me, exactly. And there, I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on what this crystal can do. So it's also good for psychic protection. It's good for protection in general. So I just recommend that you definitely have a clear quartz crystal. It is very, 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 very powerful. So we're going to keep on going here. Black obsidian, as we talked about a minute ago. If you are going to work on, if you're working on releasing and removing sexual trauma or energy from past lovers, I know I've talked about this and so has my coach. Anytime you interact with another human, right? I mean, not even just human, but And let's say you have a lover and you kiss. Do you know that the energy from their lips onto your lips literally lasts in your body for almost 7 years? So think of all of us women who, when we have been had a sexual partner, and it may not have been one that we've invited, and we still have that energy in our body. Every time we go to be with another lover, they are now taking on the energy of the first one who might not have been a lover, or the last one who you may not still want to connect with the new one. So it is so important that you do things to remove that energy from the past partner. One thing I recommend is what is called a yoni egg. Now, I understand this is not for everybody, and that's totally okay. But a yoni egg is like being able to put the stone inside your body. They have created ways that they have a hole, so you can put a string in there that this part would go in and this part would be out, so that you could pull it out. And then when you go to sleep, you'll follow the instructions, but after you've used it for a while, you can go to sleep and let this do its job, where it's removing that trauma and energy from the past lover. If this is not your cup of tea, that's okay. I know that's not for everybody, and I'm not going to get insanely into this in this live, but I can always talk about it at another time. You can also use obsidian, though, where you put a large one or smaller ones on your root chakra and ask for that trauma to be removed. Do a releasing ceremony, and really allow yourself to feel the emotions as you allow that to remove from your body. Obsidian is a great one to use in cord cutting too. It cuts ties. It removes negative attachments to people with whom you've been close to. It's a very, very strong protective stone. It's great for spiritual healing. And it is just an incredible stone. Christy said, I use clear quartz with stones to help amplify. Yes, it's an amplifier. Thank you for reminding me of that. It's an amplifier stone. So every time that you put another crystal next to a clear quartz crystal, it will amplify the properties of that other crystal. It also, back to obsidian, it also helps with the gift of prophecy. So a lot of people love using it because it not only shields people away that have negative energy, but it keeps those close to you, protected too. And it also helps protect your gifts when you're coming into your psychic abilities or using your gifts to help others heal. So that's a very powerful one, especially for those of us that are empaths and take on other energy. You would want to have that in your collection because it will help protect you. Another one that a lot of people don't give enough credit to is pyrite. Pyrite is one of my favorite stones. Hi, gorgeous. How are you? Britta said we were in an awesome little store on vacation a few years ago, and there was a huge one, a clear quartz crystal in the window. And I absolutely fell in love. Unfortunately, we didn't have thousands of dollars to buy it. I'm still sad. You know what, though? That doesn't mean it won't be yours someday, girl. Use your little pyrite and your citrine and manifest it. So pyrite is an awesome stone. Trying to get better light here. Because it helps with those that really struggle, with feeling accepted. This is a good one if you had a partner in the past who was manipulative, who constantly criticized you, and you felt like you never had control of anything that you did. You'd be shocked at how much pyrite helps with the emotions that came from those types of relationship. It could be a controlling parent. It could have been you had a controlling employer. So any time that you had someone where you felt like you had to lose your power, by being connected to that person. Pyrite can help you get those things back in your healing. It's a great one to have in your home, as it really helps with the energy in your home and the vitality of your home. It helps fatigue. It also helps with concentration, being overworked, being really tired. If you have a nervous system, if you have a nervous system, it will help your nervous system by stimulating the blood flow to the brain, increasing mental clarity. It helps if you have a lot of anger that's pent up, especially in your root. You can use it in helping with that. It helps kids with creativity, adults with creativity. I use this. I have dyscalculia. So when I know that I'm going to have to use a lot of math, I know that math is an instant trigger for me. It brings me back to my insecurities. I'm going to use pyrite as well, because pyrite helps with concentration, as weird as it sounds, especially even in math. It just helps with those parts of the brain. It also helps with science, even kids that struggle in science, because those two are connected. It helps with communication even, and definitely with abundance. It helps with leadership skills, and it's good for men, women, kids, and prosperity. So there is a lot that pyrite can do. And I think it's crazy how people think they call it fool's gold and they kind of toss it to the side. But to be honest, I think it's another one of the most powerful and underrated stones out there, because it has so many healing properties. That's a great one to use too if you have kids that struggle with ADD, to have that one handy, because it's just an awesome one. Another thing with black obsidian is it is a power cleanser among psychic smog. So if you know that one of your gifts is that you have the gift of prophecy, but it hasn't been as strong lately, it may just be that you really need to clean up your gift, so to speak. So you could use that one, as it is a strong protective stone for psychics. And it has metaphysical properties that will help shield the psychic abilities against negativity and help really stimulate the gift of prophecy. So if that's something that that you're normally really strong in, but lately it's been out of whack, grab that obsidian and it will definitely help assist you in that. Hi, Sharon. Fluorite. This is one of my favorite ones. All last year, I was obsessed with this. I couldn't get enough of it. I just constantly wanted to be around it, because I think it is one of the most beautiful to look at aesthetically. But then I learned that it's so much deeper than that. I don't know what's on my finger. Sorry about that. It's so good for grounding and for harmonizing your spiritual energy. It's great for upper chakras. It increases your intuitive abilities. It helps link the human mind to the universal consciousness. It helps develop connection back to spirit. I know, isn't it so beautiful? Gem show, baby. It absorbs negative energy from the environment. It helps with aura cleansing. It helps with chaotic cleansing, chaotic circumstances. It's another good one for psychic protection. It absorbs, like I said, negative energy, but this one needs to be cleared often. As beautiful and as gorgeous that it is, it still needs to be cleansed often. It's not one like citrine that's going to be able to handle all that and self-charge itself. So you'll want to make sure that you are cleansing this as often as necessary, especially if you're trying to heal a ton of really strong negative energy. It also helps, thank you, Lotus. It also helps health-wise. If you have teeth problems and jaw problems, you can place it on the outside of those areas, asking for healing and asking to have assistance in healing that area. It also helps with the pain of arthritis and bones. So if you're struggling with having a lot of bone problems, you would want to put that on those areas and let it sit while you meditate and ask for assistance and healing. Remember, it can't necessarily, it can work, but it's not going to work as great if you don't set the intention of what you want it to do. So make sure you're telling it what you want it to help heal. And after you do that, make sure that you are definitely cleansing that. So yeah, there's all kinds of great things that you can do to help. Oh, did everybody lose sound? Sheer said, me too. I sleep with a double one under my pillow. It's just a great one. Let me make sure no one else lost sound as I keep on going here. Everybody know what this one is? So this one is all about, okay, good. This one is all about love and compassion. Think of a heart before the heart got manipulated by the world, right? A heart was supposed to see and accept people unconditionally. That is so much what vibrates off of rose quartz. Rose quartz is one of the least expensive crystals out there. I think this was literally not even $10 at Mantra. I don't even think it was $10. It's not very expensive, but it's priceless in many ways. Good job, Christy. You get a gold star. So rose quartz. Yay! Anna Marie gets a gold star. So it's beautiful and it's pink and it's the heart of the stone. It carries the vibration of unconditional love, compassion, peace, healing, of nourishment, even down to creating a comfort. It speaks directly to the heart chakra, dissolving emotional wounds, fears, resentment, bitterness. It circulates divine loving energy, right? Throughout the entire aura. It reawakens your heart. How powerful is that? It reawakens the heart to its own intimate love. It provides a deep and sensual fulfillment and and contentment, allowing the capacity to really truly give and receive from others. Okay, so it is such a beautiful stone. And it also is really great if you struggle. I apologize, I'm gonna get some water. If you struggle with self-acceptance and self-compassion. Because in many ways, what I tell you it does is it gives you the window to God's soul. It lets you see others the way you were supposed to before our views got distorted. But it does the same grace for you. So if you are working on loving yourself and self-acceptance, I highly recommend that you work with the rose quartz crystal with your healing, because it will help you with self-love and self-compassion. She said, I sleep with one that large under my pillow. Yeah, I love sleeping with crystals around me. Lotus said, I need a large one like that. I'm telling you, these ones are very, very inexpensive. But like I said, they are absolutely priceless. So another one, who knows what this is? Anybody know what this is? This is selenite, okay? So selenite, selenite looks like a wand because in many ways you can use it as a wand. You can use it as a wand when you are helping clear one of your clients, right? Good job, girls. Yes, love it. You can put it all over yourself and heal the negative energy from you. I personally love it too, because you can take most of your stones and see how it fits right on there. You can charge and cleanse them right on the selenite wand. So not only does selenite help you, it helps your crystals too. Thank you so much. And I love them because they're so inexpensive too. You shouldn't ever have to spend more than $10. If you are, you're getting ripped. I think I got this literally for like $6. So you can get these very, very cheap. And these are priceless as well. Me too, I love them, Brenda. For my clients that struggle with feeling like entities are in their home, or having negative spirits in their home, negative energy in their home, I recommend that the room you feel the most activity in, place some selenite wands in there, and it will most certainly help you. There's other ways that you can see this. This is another one. So cute. They even have them like lamps. So you can light them as a lamp. You can use this where you just put a little crystal on it. Do what you can, you guys. You don't always have to go big and fancy. Your intention is going to be more powerful than what I'm telling you anyway. So just put your intention into it. So selenite. Selenite is used for good luck. It's used for protection. It is such a powerful protection, vibration. It can clear and open doors for you that you would have had no idea, honey, could be opened. It can definitely activate the crown chakra. So you can, while you're meditating, you can swirl and, oh, I'm buzzing from this. You can swirl and twirl it around your head as you're really trying to open your crown chakra for more spiritual guidance. It is excellent for talking to your higher self. It's also really great for your higher chakras and any kind of spiritual work. Feel free to type in the comments what you use selenite for. There are so many different things you can use it for. So that's another great one if you're going to start your kit. I know, I'm so attracted to it too. And yeah, if you want to know different ways on how to use those crystals, I went over that earlier. You can use them on your body when you're doing any kind of meditation. You just have to set the intention first. You can wear them as jewelry or put them in your bra or your pocket or in your wallet. Like if there's a money attracting one, put a little citrine or pyrite in your wallet so it sits on your money and your credit cards. You can carry them with you. Oh, good. She said, I cleanse my aura with it. Yeah. You can do all kinds of things with them. You can put them in your bed, in your space. So yeah, we went over all that earlier. Feel free to watch the replay if you want more specific ways to use it. And feel free to write in the comment your guys' favorite ways. How do you use your crystals? Anna Marie said, I haven't used selenite yet, but I do have a much smaller wand. Yeah, and it still works just as good, girlfriend. Just as good. So another one that we're going to talk about, we're going to start wrapping this up because I went over my time, but I can't help it. There's just so many great crystals to talk about that I could talk about them all day. But I do have a client within the next half hour, so I'm going to go in a second. I was going to talk about aventurine. Aventurine is another one of my favorites. Oh, before I do that, a good rule of thumb is that any kind of black crystal, honestly, is going to be a protective stone. So it doesn't necessarily matter if you can't get your hands on obsidian. Obsidian can be very expensive, especially real obsidian can be very expensive because of the amount of work and things that go into getting it. So with that being said, if you can't necessarily, oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it, honey. She said, I'm sorry. My husband called. Girl, don't be sorry. So you heard what you're supposed to hear. You came in the perfect timing. So any kind of black crystal is going to be a good protective stone. So, and a good releasing of negative energy stone. So don't stress so much if you can't afford a certain kind of black stone, so to speak. Just start where you can on your affordability and know that, like I know not to be repetitive, but like I said, as long as you set the intention of it in it, it will work for you. Yes. So, anyways, I'm going to keep on going here. So aventurine, what I was getting ready to talk about earlier, it comes in many different shades of green. Some of them have speckles on them, some of them don't. I have quite a few of them because it's one of my favorite stones. They look different all the time. I don't have a lot that look the same. Oh yeah, black tourmaline. Yes, it is. It is an amazing one. The first time I saw it, I thought it was charcoal. I was like, what the hell is that doing in here? We have a barbecue at the crystal store. So anyways, aventurine is great for the heart chakra, not only because it's green, but because of the healing properties. It's great for emotion. It's awesome for attracting money and for abundance. A lot of people love having it in their cash drawer. If they own a business, or putting it in their wallet. It's also known as like the lucky clover or the good luck stone. So this is a great one for anxiety too. Any of my clients who suffer with anxiety, especially from trauma, I love putting this around their hearts. It's another great one when you are starting to develop your own business and really trying to come into how I want to do this, especially for us coaches. It's an awesome one to use to help get your creativity juices flowing. Yes, Anna Marie said it's one of my favorites too for creativity. So as you can see, there are a lot of great stones that help you with creativity and money and abundance. So it's awesome because you don't have to stress that, oh God, I can only have, I got to get this one for this particular thing. A lot of them do the same kind of thing. So anyways, that is basically the basics. So we went over cleaning. You can sage them. You're going to want to make sure you do sage them. You can charge them charge them on the windowsill by the light of the specific moon that you're wanting to really use to amplify your growth. Oh, did somebody have a question? I missed a question. Who said that they thought their question was dumb? Okay, I apologize if I missed a question. But anyways, so you can sage them. You can put them in the soil. I like putting them in the soil of an older plant and help do it that way. Some of them you can boil. Just you want to make sure that you're careful with that. Selenite, you definitely cannot get wet. Some of them will disintegrate if they get wet. I love to also have crystals by my bathtub when I'm taking a bath. And I set the intention of the bath, of what the bath is going to do healing-wise. I do a guided meditation in there and have a whole spiritual bath. You can also use rose water that helps with that too, and have the crystals in there. You can, sorry, we were talking about cleaning, and I went off subject there. But yeah, and you can have them charged by the sunlight if you're wanting them, like let's say you're tired all the time and you're really wanting a crystal to help you with energy and things like that, then you definitely want to use the sun's energy. So there's different ways that you can charge them and cleanse them. And sea salt is another good one. Like I like this container with my little polished babies, and I put sea salt at the bottom. There might still be some in there. Yeah, there is. And let them sit on the sea salt after I sage them and have them just cleanse that way. You can even place this is what's cool is you can put this outside to charge in the night of the moon too. Angela Maria said, so what if you have a crystal and you don't cleanse it? Or if you did that wrong? Well, if you have a crystal that you use all the time to help you heal and you don't cleanse it, then it's still going to work, but it's not going to give you the strong as healing and vibration as it would if it's cleansed. And what would happen is it's going to get, since it's alive, it is going to get bogged down with that negative energy and negative emotion. And you want to cleanse that out of you so that when you're putting that on you, that you're getting more of the beautiful healing property in it instead of your old toxic energy. And if you released a ton of it in there, then chances are you're only getting a little smidgen of the healing and then all the other shit instead. So it's really easy to cleanse it. If you have sage, then when you sage your room, just sage over those two. Or just get a bowl of sage. Like, see how you have this? You just put the bowl of sage right here. Just right on top of it and let that smoke it out. Super easy. If you don't have time that night, grab something like this, set it out on your porch, and know that that night it's going to do its job, right? So it's actually really easy. Or if you have a flower pot that was a big pot that has a ton of soil in it, just sit these outside, literally on top of the soil. That's all I do. It's super duper easy. It sounds more complex than it is. I'm probably just making it sound complicated, but it really is easy. and no, you can't do it wrong. There's no wrong way. Angela said, like, it seems like there's a great depth of knowledge that I don't have and wouldn't want to mess up. No way to mess it up. The only way that you could honestly like mess it up is by not trying, by not even starting. So you just grab what crystal you feel called to, and your soul is going to help you do the work. So yeah, we went over picking it out. So if the only thing that you have is, unfortunately, you don't have a crystal shop and all you can do is go online, then try to go to maybe an Etsy place where you feel really aligned with the seller, you read their reviews, and you've done your research on finding a crystal that feels really aligned with you, and just go from there. If you don't have access to the crystal store, it's not a big deal. Just get started. Same with, so we went over allowing your body to pick that up. We went over how to help if you are physically going through something and you're wanting to remove pain. You would set the intention, you would lay down, you would place that crystal on that chakra or wherever you're experiencing the pain. Ask God or whatever you believe to help heal that from you, and ask the crystal to take that pain away from you. Make sure you're giving that crystal gratitude and then cleansing it afterwards. So yeah, exactly. She said, don't overthink it too much. It's really not hard. Keep it simple. Exactly. No wrong way. So yeah, you can put them on your body that way. If you are doing Reiki on yourself, they're awesome to use with Reiki and trauma healing. They're incredible to use just wearing throughout the day as jewelry. So not to get crazy repetitive, because we've already talked about this. We also went over the properties of the crystal healing, where to get it, setting the intentions. So I think we've pretty much covered everything when it comes to the crystals. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to ask me. I can definitely do more series on this. I wanted to go as basic as possible because this is more for if you've never used it, like how to get started. So I hope that helps. And you are so welcome. Thank you for saying thank you. Christy said, I went to the metaphysical fair and found 3 people that I really aligned with. I can share the information later if you'd like. You can. I will be honest, I really like people to find for themselves who they feel aligned with, because not everybody's on the same page of wanting to heal the same, everybody's healing is so different that if somebody's went through a certain kind of trauma, I'm not even going to get into all that. You can most certainly, if they ask, I recommend, to be honest, people find their own person they feel aligned with and purchase from them, because it's kind of a catchy territory. People ask me all the time, who's your crystal person? I don't necessarily say, because just because my energy feels insanely aligned with that person doesn't mean the other person's going to get the same results from that person's energy. So I've just learned over the years, I'm like, I'm not going to recommend. So I just like people to just pick it out themselves. But I think that was super beautiful, and I love that you offered that. I hope that makes sense. It didn't come out bitchy. And I love that you found people you clicked with. That is so great, Christy. It's hard to find it, isn't it? The gym shows amazing to do that. Oh, you're so welcome. You guys are all so welcome. Brenda said, I really want to go on a vacation and just go to a stone and crystal shopping. Me too. Me too. So, and thanks again, Christy, for offering that. I hope that did come out with love and light. Maybe I need my obsidian right now. So yeah, that's, I think, the basics. And if you're ever interested in doing crystal therapy with me, I do healings and Reiki treatments and trauma work with crystals as well. So feel free to ask me about those sessions. They are incredible, and I love using crystals for healing. So I hope these help you in your spiritual practices, and know that everything you do, as long as you're doing it with light and love, you're going to get results. You guys are doing a beautiful job. I love you ladies so much, and thanks for spending your night with me. Okay, good. Yeah, because I know, Christy, I'm really drawn to one metaphysical store, and I have recommended people there, and they haven't felt that way. Or there's one store that I can't physically go in. I get sick every time I go in, but other people, it's their favorite store. So it's kind of a weird territory when it comes to energy work. Anna Marie said it does make sense. I'm really stuck on 2 crystal vendors, jewelry-wise. I don't think everyone would be, though. Yeah, so it's just your own preference. Anyways, ladies, we went well over the hour, so I want to be respectful of that. You guys have a fantastic evening. Feel free to post your crystals in the group, what you use them for. Share with the girls if you have crystals in your home. Let's see them. Show us your crystals. You are so welcome, my love. You ladies have a fantastic night, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.